Hello again. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, another tropical cyclone is expected to make landfall on Mozambique's coast on Thursday, just over a month after powerful Cyclone Idai struck the port city of Beira, killing hundreds. According to the weather forecasters, Cyclone Kenneth will bring heavy rainfall, strong winds and waves of several meters. SABC Correspondent Daniel Kijo joins us from Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. Hi, Daniel. Thanks for your time this evening. Look, we understand at this stage that Cyclone Kenneth will make landfall in Mozambique, but do we know exactly which path it's expected to take?
Today, Tanzanian authority issued a statement regarding Cyclone Kenneth, saying that within the next 24 hours, they expected to move from the Mozambican border towards parts of southern Tanzania. We know that the next 24 hours are critical because that is when they expected to be in Tanzania territory. But it will hit the majority of the southern part of Tanzania, regions of Mtwara and Lindi. And they say within the next 24 to 48 hours, there will be severe rainfall, thunderstorms, winds of up to almost 200 kilometers per hour, and strong waves as well. So it is a time in which the next 48 hours will be critical for the parts of southern Tanzania. Yeah,
I'll ask you about what measures are being put in place in Tanzania to deal with the possible impact of this cyclone. Are there any statements that have been made by perhaps aid organizations or even government at this stage about preparations to ensure that everybody remains safe should there be severe impact?
Yes, the government has issued a statement and a warning for people in southern parts of Tanzania. They said that they should move from coastal area because of the possibility of a storm surge, which is the rising of the ocean level, the sea levels towards these coastal areas. As you know, Tanzania has a lot of coastal areas, especially the southern part of the country. They also have asked people to be careful during transit, and there's a possibility of airport transportation to be held and reduced during this time. Also, communities that depend on fishing around these coastal areas have been warned not to go out within the next 48 hours because of the rains and storms.
Are we seeing some people in these areas that are close to the coast being moved from the areas, perhaps homes that may be quite close to the coast? They're being taken to higher ground at this stage to try and possibly perhaps avoid a situation where you've got the cyclone that hits and there's so much devastation that takes place.
Yes, this is exactly what the government is looking to start doing after issuing the warning today. And also it's called to the citizens themselves to be wary of the situation and not underestimate this cyclone, because Tanzania has been hit with similar cyclones in its history, one in 1950s and the recent one in 1980s. And in fact, the one in 1950 was in Lindi, the similar area in which this Cyclone Kenneth is heading to. So the people there, older generations might remember the devastation of this cyclone. So the government is pushing to move people towards the next 48 hours.
Daniel, the International Red Cross, I see from a statement that we just received here as SABC News, basically saying they're alerting communities of possible flooding as well as erosion. And there are supplies that are being prepared in anticipation of the storm. Quite a number of countries have been mentioned here, including southern Tanzania, Mozambique as well. Have you heard anything from aid organizations at this stage about perhaps, aid that's being set aside that will ensure that much relief is brought to some of the people who might be affected when the cyclone hits?
As it stands, statements like the one you just read from the Red Cross are coming out, and I expect tomorrow or over the next 24 hours to hear more statements from the international community in terms of preparations for similar, for a situation we hope not as bad as the recent one in Mozambique. So I think there will be a lot of NGOs coming forward in the next 24 hours to prepare and also prevent the devastation that happened in Mozambique in the recent couple of weeks ago.
Is there a sense of panic? obviously, when communities get to hear that you might have, a cyclone that might cause devastation, I think fresh in our minds as well as what happened in Mozambique, just in Beira, and we saw the devastation there. So just tell us what the sense in the country is, in particular in the south of Tanzania, is currently, just before we wrap up, Daniel.
Yes, this cyclone, experts say, could be the strongest cyclone to hit landfall in recent Southern African history. So yes, there's a sense of fear, a sense of shock, especially for communities in Mtwara, Lindi, and Ruvuma. Even the capital, commercial capital, Dar es Salaam, people have been talking about it and checking on their loved ones. So the next 24 hours will be critical to save lives and to make sure that the people in danger can be moved from these coastal areas in the southern part of Tanzania. So yes, people are very worried and careful.
Daniel Kijo, SABC correspondent, crossing to us from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Of course, all in anticipation at this stage from what the Weather Service is telling us about Cyclone Kenneth that is expected to make landfall in Mozambique tomorrow afternoon. Several warnings given for other countries as well, including Tanzania. They're making preparations in case there's a massive impact of this cyclone in these different parts of the country, including the Comores as well. Francis?